There was a request. My comments or the fact that we're having a hearing today to decide whether, if, or how to proceed should be taken as a conclusion by anybody, because that's what it's here for, is to determine what's appropriate and what's not. The process, although it's simple in the charter, becomes complicated once we get to this point. We did have a request for Ms. Kostelnik, which outlined her reasonings for her request and her justifications. So the council president is it gave her the permission to go, or the opportunity to go first to explain that to the rest of the council. Ms. Krajnak will go last because it just makes more sense so she can make her responses in one bunch at the end. The proceedings then going forward is kind of awkward, but it's, I guess, interesting for the people that are watching. The procedure, if council were to decide they want to move forward with this, is that I would need to then secure special counsel to draft the complaint. That complaint at some point then would be presented back to the council by way of legislation. I would then, if it moves forward to that point, and if we find ourselves to the point of giving notice to the councilwoman and moving forward to what is essentially a trial before council, as the law director, I would essentially sit as the law clerk for the council president, who would essentially be the judge making any decisions on objections or things that you might see at a normal trial. We would have special counsel who would help us draft the complaint if council moves it forward. That person would be involved in that because that would be the person that prosecutes the complaint. And then essentially there would be a full hearing similar to a trial in front of council. These things don't obviously happen all that often, so it's uncharted territory for a lot of cities. I've had some experience in it in a neighboring community to a certain degree, so I think we're well positioned to move forward, but I like the fact that we limited the comments today to 3 minutes per person, per council person, and then we will at some point take a vote, if not today, at another day. And,
Is that about the city financial?
I think we are, we're council's holding now, enough time for public comment.
Public comment will come in the council meeting.
Misrepresents of facts, refusal to engage in good faith governance, and misuse of public platforms. I have screenshots, emails, instant messages, audio files, and official confirmation to support each of the following points. I want to clarify that I was in the process of resigning from council prior to these events. I decided to bring this matter forward only after a member of Krajnak crossed a clear professional line by involvement and referencing my full-time employment in a public forum in a manner that I reasonably perceived as threatening and intimidating. During a public discussion on Facebook, I just asked a question. I clarified my position, stated that I was done engaging in this conversation. She stated, smart idea, especially working. Blank, because I will not use her name, has big boost. Despite this, Councilmember Krajnak continued to post about me and my employment, referencing that people are watching, waiting, and willing, particularly when you are working for the taxpayer. Consider this a friendly warning, unquote. This moved the issue from policy disagreement to personal intimidation involving my livelihood and professional standing, and I disengaged from a public discussion. Councilmember Krajnak continued to post about my employment. At one point, she referenced an ex-employee stating that this individual has big and amazing shoes to fill, and later made additional posts implying that she knew this person personally. The ex-employee, who I know, confirmed they do not know Ms. Krajnak, have no connection to the city or council, and were very upset her name had been publicly used on social media. This demonstrates that Ms. Krajnak pulled an uninvolved private individual into a public dispute and caused unnecessary personal reputational harm. Councilmember Krajnak publicly solicited donations from local businesses to purchase new chairs. Please chairs. After soliciting donations, she posted in a public timeline that the finance director denied the purchase order request for the chairs. Additionally, Councilmember Krajnak publicly stated that over $2,000 has been pledged for these police chairs. To date, it is not verified whether any funds were actually received by the city or deposited into any official account. I respectfully request that council verify whether any funds were collected, how they were collected, and where they were deposited. If no funds were received, the public representation over 2,000 has been pledged, further misled residents and created a false impression of the city interaction and community fundraising necessity. I respectfully request that Ms. Krajnak clarify whether any funds were collected, how they were collected, and where they were deposited. After Mayor Overstreet corrected the false statement on the official city page, a resident demanded that the city issue a public apology to Ms. Krajnak for calling her out. This demonstrates the confusion and public distrust created by the false statements. Following the chair incident, Councilmember Krajnak sent me an instant message stating, and I quote, FIY, every collective bargaining year, Carol Ann buries money in different accounts so arbitrators can't find that money. Should stay in the general fund. Last time it was $1 million over 4 accounts. Another false statement that being made by Ms. Krajnak. I would consider this declaration on behalf of the finance director.
Thank you. No, I understand that things have kind of escalated quickly between the parties and everything, and I'd like to make the suggestion that perhaps the two individuals sit down, and not with any of us, and not with someone from the city like the law director or someone, but perhaps he could suggest someone that could mediate and sit down with a neutral individual and try to work out the differences and resolve this, rather than we have to drag this out any further, drag the city through any kind of this messy situation, things like that. That's all, one suggestion.
When this complaint was first brought to me, I was obviously a bit saddened because I thought we were going to be past all this dysfunction with this election. As a council president, it's my understanding that it isn't solely my place to decide what happened with the complaint that was sent to me. So I consulted with our law director for some guidance, and to ensure transparency, I shared it promptly so there's no perception of anything being withheld. As council president, I also don't have any managerial or supervisory role over council. However, I hope that we were still able to resolve it without any escalation between a meeting between the two parties. Unfortunately, subsequent communications and public statements have reinforced my concern that that's not going to happen. I've observed interactions involving residents, city staff, business, and members of council that fall far short of professional standards we should expect. That includes recent exchanges over routine administrative matters that escalated unnecessarily. Additionally, posts on the Blackwatch page, which many of its members believe to be a city-sponsored page, where they could go where they could trust for accurate and impartial information regarding our city, which it is not, have included statements that are inaccurate and inflammatory. That impacts public trust and the working relationships necessary for effective government. This isn't about a disagreement. Disagreement is part of public service. It's about conduct, standards, and a pattern of behavior that has gone on for many years and overlooked and tolerated. Personally, I think we're at the point where if you mistreat somebody so often, you're going to come to somebody that's going to stand up and say that I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. So.
I'd like to be honest with you, so while I'd like to sit and go through every single one of Ms. Kostelnik's comments, I only have to tell you this. I have been running the Blackwatch page for 17 years. Everybody knows. It's not mandated by the city. It's not run by the city. It's run by 4 administrators collectively. You see a comment removed, somebody doesn't like something, there are rules to behavior. And that goes for me too. There is rules for people's behavior, and there's consequences to that. And I'm sorry if somebody gets removed or somebody doesn't like what I have to say. Ms. Kostelnik's comment with regard to her job was in reference to a woman by the last name of Freeman who works in another city. My initial confrontation with Danielle had absolutely nothing to do with anything in the city of Eastlake but abolishing property taxes. The next thing I knew, we were here. And I have never engaged in malfeasance, misfeasance, nonfeasance. Removal in office is only going to apply to this term. Anything done prior to this term does not count. I won't be accused of stealing money, taking money, the chief knows. I've never taken a dime from anybody. And so how anybody accuse me of it. When I say $2,000 pledge, that means that businesses, people in the city came forward and said, let's get them some dang chairs. They pledged it. That money would have gone immediately to the police department. They would have received it. It would have gone to Carol Ann. It would have been a line item as a donation, and we would have collectively accepted it. I've helped many of you people in this room. And all I can tell you is that my history, my word, my character will stand. I've never done anything malfeasant, misfeasant, or non-feasant that applies. You don't have to like me, and I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But I'll be damned, I will never have somebody tell me that I stole money, embezzled something, or picked on people. Particularly when I came in here at Christmas time to a lovely gift that was at my desk, given to me by one of my coworkers. Called me a bitch and a witch, and accused me and my religion of being something untoward. That's what I had to look at my desk. You want to talk about dysfunction? There's dysfunction in this room, and it's been going on for many years. I'm the only one that has spoke up about it. That's why I was elected. Deaths of people up here. I've lived here 57 years. When one person or four people get to make a decision and circumvent the vote of me being duly elected, that's a problem.
Huge problem.
I'll have no fury. If you have with me, I will have with you.
Were any police charges filed?
I'm filing after I leave here.
Shit, once she's found guilty, then you can talk about it later. Till then, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Give each other, let it go, move forward.
Last time I checked, it was guilty.
If we don't have quiet, we'll have to ask for a motion to adjourn. So I would like to make a motion to move forward, to put this on the agenda for the next.
A motion for me to draft legislation to secure special counsel.
Thank you. Is there a second? Council, please call the roll. Please call the roll.
Mr. Summit?
Yes?
Mrs. Stallman? Yes. Mr. Kostelnik?
Yes.
Mr. Gully?
Yes.
Mr. Krajnak?
No.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
No.
Thank you. Motion has been adopted.